Welcome to Unwind Podcast. We're your hosts,
Maritza
and Melinda.
and our episode today, guys, it's one that may be uneasy for some people, but it's a real topic. We're going to talk about mental health, the struggles that it's faced. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my PTSD, and I think I think it's a topic, especially because we're in the month of mental health awareness, that we acknowledge that's a real thing.
Yeah, I think that also it's something that wasn't spoken about or was taboo at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And many people are coming and talking about it. I think that it's something that we need to talk about, mental health. I think also even therapy. For relationships, for whatever you're going through, it's something that we should be able to talk and have someone to go to and let them know what's on our mind.
Yeah, you need resources, and I think the key, right, for mental health is the person going through it sometimes doesn't even realize that they're going through it. A lot of people have a tendency to just kind of go with the flow and think it's normal, and in reality they're struggling.
Yeah, I think that that's something, I guess we'll go into a little bit of when I had my daughter. I didn't realize what the emotions that I was going through.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't severe. It's also because I had many people around me taking me out, pushing me, and wanting me to be excited and happy. But I was going through my own personal things, and it's a struggle.
Like
and
postpartum, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things that would go through my mind or, whatever. And it's nothing that I was aware of.
Yeah.
And now, hindsight 2020, looking back at it, you realize that could very well be postpartum.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, and a lot of women go through it. I mean, there's, let's be real, right? It's an emotion, and your body goes through so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's a mental battle because you're on no sleep. Your hormones are crazy.
Yeah.
And you feel this pressure to have to do it right.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like a battle of, I don't want to ask for help because then people see me weak.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to do it. And in reality, you're burning yourself really thin.
Yeah.
And it's tough. Like, I never experienced the postpartum aspect of it. Like, mine obviously is, PTSD, it's real. It's, took me many, many years to admit that I was struggling with PTSD,
but some people get PTSD from other things
and
100%. Don't realize that they have it.
It's a traumatic incident.
Correct.
That causes your mind to react to anything that reminds you of that traumatic incident.
Yes.
And I think it's key. It's key. When you go through something traumatic, your body goes into defense mode, and to protect itself, right, you either get aggressive or you withdraw, right, because you're trying to figure out, what is this feeling, this anxiousness, this uneasiness that I feel, and that's why it's so important to talk, because the more, like, I am one, right, I do withdraw in the sense that I will go for a run, I will go for a walk, but I have to pull myself away from people in order to reset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the struggle for me, is resetting and understanding I'm home, I'm safe, there's no danger.
Yeah.
Like, there's triggers.
Yeah.
There's real triggers, and it's real for a lot of people.
But it's also, a lot of people don't know those triggers.
No.
What are those triggers?
No.
And that's why working with someone is key.
Yes.
I know, growing up, having a family member deal with mental health, and not knowing what that meant or not knowing what that looked like. I just knew that day I wanted to spend extra time with them because they seem
Uneasy.
They seemed like they were being shut like off, or down, or they seem different, and so you just want to be there. And for more that they tell you, the more that they tell you, oh, go over there, go do this, go do that, and you just like, no, I just want to be here. It's something that is internal. You feel it, but not a lot of people are in tune with it, because then you don't know what it looks like, you don't know what it is. You're not. And again, it's because more people are talking about it, so we're more aware of it. And look at the young model, was it, or the pageant beauty queen, that she was an attorney and she jumps off the building.
Struggling.
Nobody would have known. And then her last message on Instagram, it's just it's sad. And then as friends and family members, sometimes we don't realize the signs and ignore them. And also us as friends and family members, we have to be able to identify it and say, hey, are you okay?
Check in often. You have to check in and make sure people are good, because I mean, honestly, unfortunately, in the era that we live in now, I feel like a lot of depression and anxiety is affecting the youth so much more, and especially with the shutdown that occurred. These kids, I mean, let's be honest, they had to go through an isolation period, right?
Yeah.
Away from friends, family, kids not understanding why they can't see grandma and grandpa, like cousins or aunts and uncles. Like, it was a struggle for them to learn online, digitally, and then the social media aspect, people bullying people online. It's tough. Like, we've gotten a lot of stories of kids committing suicide because of bullying, and the parent doesn't see it because, one, the kid withdraws and doesn't share, and maybe the kid keeps it quiet and is himself around the family. And this is why you have to check in, you have to ask questions, go through the social media, see what's going on, if people are bothering. It's a scary situation. I coach the youth, and some of the kids are on actual medication for anxiety, depression, stuff like that. And this past weekend we had one where I think they changed the medication, but she was off, and it kind of broke my heart, because she's, I think, maybe 16 if I'm not mistaken. And just to see a young person have to take medication to stabilize whatever's off in the brain, but then to see them fidgety, and this kid can play a game, like she's a beast on the court, but then to see and her recognize it and come to me and say, I'm foggy, I can't do this, I'm feeling off, and you visually see like the eyes dilated, like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's hard. And I think it's hard for my generation because we never really spoke about it. It was kind of like we got the suck it up and keep going attitude. So it wasn't a thing. Like, I think people just kind of did suck it up and kept going, where now it's real.
But it's happening so much more.
I agree.
It's happening so much more, and the worst part, it's happening to children.
Oh, yes.
And I remember in high school, my freshman year, there was this girl, was in my class. We were acquaintances, and her mother committed suicide. And she found her that summer, our freshman year. We came back, hey, how was your summer? And she was just like, yeah, my mom died.
Wow.
To suicide.
Wow.
But that's what I would hear. It's adults, right? Because you're dealing with the pressure of your adult life. But then your kids.
I know.
Kids.
I can't.
There's a Netflix series on this.
Yes.
It's why. And it's like showing them how to do it.
Yeah.
And I've never watched it, but I believe my nieces have.
Yeah.
it's too much.
There's a lot.
There's too much exposure to
That's
them.
what I was gonna say. It's a lot of what you allow yourself to see is what your brain thinks. You know, I had this talk with my daughter the other day, and I kind of said it to her. I was like, you know, if you consume your mind with music and shows that all it focuses on is negative stuff or sadness or this kind of topic, then you train your brain to feel that, and it becomes an emotion without you even realizing. But now if you consume your mind of joyous music, happy shows, things of peace, then it trains your brain to be at peace.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
No. I like that you said that, because it is true. I don't think that a lot of people realize that, and I've noticed that with myself.
Yeah.
It's sometimes music takes you back to a different place, right? It'll take you to that ex-boyfriend or that time where you and your girlfriends were going out to the club every night. Music has so much power.
It really does.
And we don't realize it obviously in the moment, but I mean, come on, we can remember that time your moms put on the music and start cleaning. You know, music can bring us happiness back. It bring us happiness. It can bring us also pain.
Yeah.
And we have to watch what we expose ourselves
and
to.
our children too.
And our children.
That is the crucial part, because if you teach them it's okay to watch a certain thing, then they think it's okay to feel that way.
Yeah.
And then that's the situation, right? You have to teach them, one, to communicate, right? Communication is key. And you have to have a communication level with your children.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you want to or not, it's important at least once a day. Sit down with your kid. Hey, how was school? What's going on? Anything going on? Of course, right? If you have a teenager, it's nothing. I'm good. Day was good. Everything's good, you know?
Yeah.
But then dig in deeper. Look on their social media. Look at the emails, you know? And it's not invasion of privacy, guys. It's not. Like, it's, right? It's our job as parents.
To protect them. Yeah. They're in our house. We have to protect them.
We're their front line.
Yeah. We are their front line. Exactly.
Yeah.
We have to protect them as long as we can. Yes. Protect their minds. Protect, you know, who we allow in our homes.
Correct.
What we allow in our homes. What we allow to watch. What we allow to listen to.
Yeah.
This is key.
And you know, for those that are not, you know, we're Christian, and I pray over my home every day. I always ask God to protect this house, you know, the entry and the exits of my home, right? I always say that if it's a, you know, spirit that's not of God, I don't want it in my house.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and
have you seen the movie Prayer Warrior? Was it Prayer Warrior? Where she's like, I don't know where you're at, but you need to get out of my house.
That's me always.
Yeah. But it is, you have to do it mentally, physically, whatever works. It's a war. It's a battlefield of the mind.
It really is.
And your mind, I don't know, the power of life and death. The tongue has the power of life and death.
It really does.
It says it in the Bible. Yeah. It is true, but it also goes with your mind.
Yeah.
You can kill somebody with your words.
You can captivate your thoughts, you know, and this is the thing, and you know, I want to share this just because, right? Like we said, like I'm Christian, Melinda's Christian, and our faith is very strong. So with my PTSD, I will say that I think God got a hold of me and my heart at the right time, because I became Christian in 2009, and that was probably one of the darkest moments of my life. Like, I was struggling. I wasn't accepting my disabilities. I just relocated, you know, with my daughter by myself. Had another daughter on the way. Actually, I think she was born in 2009, so I was a mom of two. I just felt a heaviness, basically it was a feeling of my life had no purpose.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a Marine, I wasn't a cop, all my dreams were shattered, and I just felt like I was running an endless circle with no ending.
Yeah.
And I can recall just thinking, like, what's my purpose? Like, why am I here? Right? Like, this can't be it. Like, and I relived my injury, my traumatic moments. I was angry, right? Like, because it was like my hand could move.
Yeah.
I just felt myself spiraling. And it was me walking into a church in Puerto Rico, Senda de Amor. That was the church in Vega Alta. And I tell you, I know that was God that saved me, because I walked in, right? This is the Marine, the cop. I was like, I'm not going to cry. I was like, nobody's going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And I remember the pastor pointed at me and he's like, today's sermon is for you. And I looked over my shoulder, this guy's nuts. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? And then he just started preaching about how sometimes we have plans and God's plans for us don't align with the plans that we have.
No.
But that he's going to make sure, right? Because his plans are to prosper us and not to harm us.
Correct.
And that even if we don't understand, because it's not our job to understand, he's got it in control.
Yeah.
And I just remember I got so choked up because in my mind I was struggling with, what's my purpose? Like, this is stupid. Everything's dumb. Like, I have no purpose. Like, my plan is garbage now. I have no plan. Like, da-da-da. And when I heard those words, I really felt like God was talking to me.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that I found my strength. I found my purpose. I started seeking the help I needed, and just working through this anger, right? Because it was anger. And listen, I will tell you now, I still, like, there's days that trigger, right? PTSD doesn't leave. There's days that trigger. There, it's an uneasy feeling for me. Like, if you're watching YouTube, I'm playing with a little wire because it is uneasy for me to to talk about these things. But I will say that.
Yeah, because you're someone that brings light. And to talk about something, it's the same thing we talked about even in the first episode. You said that I'm more reserved, but it's just, I don't like talking about the negative things. I think that's what also draws us together, right? That we like to exude light and not focus on the negative stuff. And but in reality, I think that all of us struggle with thoughts and things that are complicated, and the roller coaster of emotions.
And life just gets you. Like, it's a lot. Like, listen, we focus on women a lot, but it's true. Like, women, it's pressure. Right? We had discussed this, right, in reflection, our episode of reflection, like, pressure to look good, right? Feel good, be a good wife, be a good mom, be good in everything we do, right? It's a challenge because it's a male world we live in, male dominant. So when a woman gets into a field where she's the boss, now you have to work 10 times harder. To make a statement and get the respect that you deserve. Because, even though we're in 2021, 2022, look at that. See, I'm going backwards. Going backwards. 2022, like, it's still a struggle. Like, it's you gotta be harder. It's hard on you. And no matter how hard you work, you still go home and you question, was it good enough?
Was it?
Yeah. And I think that's the key. You got to know you are good enough, number one, right? And if you're struggling with the anxiety, with the depression, seek the help. Talk. I can't emphasize that enough. That's been crucial for me, and I will laugh because I've walked out many sessions, so you do have to find the right one with you. I had a session one time. I'll share this because you guys probably can laugh with it. I walked into a session and the guy says to me, because my left hand doesn't move up, down, left, right, nothing, right? And the guy shows me a video of a person with no arms and legs, and I just got angry. And I remember looking at him, and I was like, listen, buddy. I was like, I know people have it worse than me. I was like, but I am stressed out. So how is this going to help me? And I was like, you know what? You don't know your job. I got to get out of here. And I just literally got up and left. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, he didn't understand. But it took me finding different people, right? Because you got to find the person that relates to your personality.
I think that, exactly. You know, someone that blends with you, somebody that understands you, and that, you know, is going to work with you, and not, yes, people have it worse.
Yeah.
Like, yes, yes, our problems are not as big. And when you, in hindsight, right? That's why that there's that expression, hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
Yes, once you are out of it, you're just like, really? That's what I was stressing about? No, but in the moment, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. And, you know, you have to go through those emotions and work through them and learn how to cope with them and look for the positive. Yeah, you need those tools. You need
and it's crucial. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
It's just really crucial. Like, therapy, right? It's not about pride, right? It works, but you really have to find the person that works with you, right? And like I said, listen, I got another story to make you laugh. I had one where the person said to me, see, I don't know if it's just my personality too, because I'm like the way I think. Person says to me, I want you to close your eyes and you're going to imagine this. I said, all right, I'll close my eyes and close it. He goes, I just showed up to your door, knocked on the door and said, Maritza, I'm so sorry. Your parents passed away in a crucial car accident. So then I had my eyes closed. He goes, you're not reacting. I go, because I know it's fake. I was like, I don't know. Like, my brain knows it's not real. Yeah. Right? So to me, that's when I was leaving that one. I was like, nope, this one neither. I was like, I don't know. Like, you know, but it's one of those things, like, maybe for somebody that would have worked. Right? Yeah. Personality. Right? So my personality, I'm a very, like, alpha woman. Yeah. Very strong, right? So I feel like, you know, finally the person I found was very similar to my character, you know, and she would call it how it was and pretty much like tell me like, hey, this is what you're feeling because ABC. So to me, I'm like, I need someone who's real. Yeah. Right? Be real. Point out that I feel this because of my trauma. Yeah. And then relate that trauma to what's going on, and I'm going to respect that because now you're telling me, right? Like, I'm not the one that I need these little things that they do, you know? Like, yeah, I mean,
listen, different strokes for different folks.
That's right. That's right. I like that show, though. Different Strokes. That was a good show.
But yeah, you take your time. You're not gonna find the first one, and if you do on the first try,
high five. Give me the number.
Good job, you know, and good for you, right? But it doesn't always work the first try, and you have to give it time. You have to give yourself time. You have to give the process time.
And listen, you don't need 1,000 friends. You could just have one. Yeah. And that one friend could be the one to help you out. You know, because it's not about quality, like quantity, it's about quality. You know what I mean? Like the quantity, who cares? You can be, what is it, 1 million followers on Instagram?
If you have more than a handful, you have too many.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. But you have like 1 million followers. Those followers are not your friends. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you need to have your solid 5, I would say, that you can call and be like, hey, I'm struggling. And if they say not now, well, guess what? They're not your solid 5. No. Because you need the people that you can talk to. Not just like therapists, but friends, people that you trust. You know, your spouse. Listen, if you're in a relationship, it is very crucial to share what you're feeling because nobody can read minds. No. You know, and believe it or not, ladies, men struggle too. And they have past, and they have hurts, and they have pain. And they go through anxiety.
Yeah, but you know what? That's another thing. Men, they're taught to be strong.
Yeah. And the suck it up method.
Suck it up. Don't cry. Boys don't cry. Yeah. Men don't cry. And no, it's not like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's not. But
I think what we need to focus on is communication being key.
yeah.
I think we need to focus on learning the signals, right? I think the key factor is the signs, right? If you see someone withdraw a lot, really check up on them. If you notice someone that was talkative not be so talkative anymore, that's a sign. If you notice somebody on edge all the time, right, where they're looking over their shoulder, they're panicky, that's anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who hyperventilates with situations, that can be related to panic attacks.
Yeah.
We have to be more open to our surroundings, willing to listen to people, right? Not just respond, because there's people that say they're listening, but they're already planning an answer without you even asking a question.
Yeah, sometimes you need, sometimes your friends don't want a response.
Correct.
Sometimes they just want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just need somebody to listen.
Yeah.
And say, you know what, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm here.
Yeah. And that's called active listening. Active listening is you stop what you're doing. You literally look at the person talking to you. You put your phone down and you're giving that person your attention.
Yeah.
And you're telling that person, hey, without words, just looking at them, I'm here.
Yeah.
Right? Let them talk.
Mm-hmm.
And once they're done talking, listen, it might be a hug they need.
Yeah.
Or
just, if your friend is not next to you where you can look at them and talk to them or hug them, even just a simple text message, say, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to talk.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Yeah.
I love you. And I'm there and then also communicating that with your spouse too, right? Yeah. So that your spouse knows, okay, this person is calling. And like, for example, like with Juan, I'm like, okay, this person's calling me. I gotta take this. He's like, yeah, take it, because he also then is aware that I'm not just bailing on him, that this friend needs me right now. Yeah. That's also key because, you get married and you move on, and life takes you in different directions, different places, but those solid friends will never go away. And as long as you put those boundaries and able to be there for those people and check up on the people that mean a lot to you.
Listen, I really do want to share. Look, you have purpose, you have worth. There is a reason that every day you wake up, right? So the thoughts that come in your mind that try to take away that purpose that you have, please seek the help, right? Don't wait till you feel that it's too late. In this world, right? So it's a mental warfare. Right? The enemy wants to pull you in one direction. God wants to pull you in another.
Yeah.
But it's like a marathon, right? If a runner doesn't finish the race, they don't get the medal.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the race of life, right? You got to finish your race to get that medal,
Yeah.
But finishing that race is every day waking up and fighting.
Yeah.
Right? Fighting through your battles, knowing that, rainbows do come out right after the storms. Even though when it rains the next day there's sun, find beauty in every little thing that you're doing. Struggles are real. Look, I will be vulnerable right now and tell you, I literally struggled a lot. I struggled to a point where it was, it was uneasy for me. It took years. I think I'm going on now almost 10 years married, and I maybe shared a little bit with my husband.
Yeah.
But it's because the battle was the pride, right?
Yeah.
I can't show weakness.
Mm-hmm.
I have to work through this by myself. I have to figure out what the struggle is, and I think that when I realize I can't do it by myself, right? Yeah. I can't, and I have little eyes watching me, I need to figure out how can I better myself to be a better version of me for the people that love me.
Yeah. And then also, but you have to also show vulnerability.
Yeah. Which is
because then the girls are always going to see mommy was tough, and then how are they going to be able to express vulnerability?
Yeah.
It was like you said in previous episode about your mom doing everything, and then your husband saying, and your brother saying about your husband, let him do, let him help you.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. So we're a product of what we see as well.
Yeah.
And what we've grown around, right?
Yeah.
We're a product of that.
Yeah.
And so we have to be conscious, and be in tune with ourselves.
Yeah. And I think the thing that happens, right, when people go through pain, right, a lot of people try to suppress pain, right? And to suppress pain, there's different ways of doing it, right? People turn to drinking, people turn to other things, like, there's good ways to suppress the pain, right?
Art, music.
Yeah.
There's many different ways.
But this is where, don't suppress the pain, right?
Yeah.
And this is my advice to everybody. Even though you find an outlet, right?
Yeah.
It's still there, right? So don't suppress a pain, right? Don't turn to things thinking that's your answer, because what you're doing now is you're filling it with something that's not good for your body, right? Where that pain, no matter what, is always going to be there until you confront it head on.
Yeah, like food, or drinking, or smoking, or any of those things that are going to impact your body negatively. You're only making the problem
momentarily disappear.
Yeah. And then it gets bigger and bigger, and then it becomes an internal battle.
And then you have two battles that you're fighting, right?
Yeah.
Then you're fighting an addiction plus the pain.
Yeah.
So now it becomes, what battle is winning?
Yeah.
And this is why, sorry.
No.
I was just going to say, this is why it's very crucial for loved ones, right? Don't brush off if, like, Uncle Bobby, and, no Bobbies out there, I'm sorry, but just a name, is all of a sudden he starts drinking more, right? Don't just say, oh, it's just because we're at a party, or just maybe this time he had one too many, or he might be going through something.
Yeah.
Or if you see, like, Aunt Jenny in the corner or something like that, and she's usually the talkative one, but this party, she was just to herself, right? Oh, it's just she was having a bad day. No, somebody go over, hey, you okay? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's these are the things that people don't want to talk about, but it's the elephant in the room.
It is the elephant in the room.
It is.
Many of us, may have had an Uncle Bobby or an Aunt Jenny, and it's just brushed under the carpet.
Yep, and it was overlooked.
It was missed. Or, maybe did try to find that person help and couldn't.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it was so much bigger than that person.
Don't give up on the person.
No.
Don't give up on them. Like, even if you're like, I've done this 1,000 times, great. 1,001.
Yeah.
Keep going. 1,002, right? Until eventually the person is going to be submissive.
Yeah.
And they're going to want it, right? And it comes a point where sometimes, right, I will say to you, right, I went to church, right? It was one of the darkest moments of my life. Sometimes we have to hit rock bottom in order to be built again.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key, right? That's the key of finding our inner strength. Praying. Guys, like, it's crucial.
Yeah, praying. I want to mention a book. It's called The Battlefields of the Mind.
Oh, I have it.
I do.
I have it.
Me
right
too.
here, actually.
By Joyce Meyer.
Yes. Crucial book.
Anytime anybody mentions about that, or we're talking about that, I'm just like, read The Battlefields of the Mind. Because, again, like we said a little earlier, the mind is, about it, you're at war in your mind.
It really is.
your thoughts can keep going and going and going. And if we don't know how to shut it down or acknowledge, hey, I'm thinking this, let me turn it around to this. I have learned, like, if I'm thinking of something specific that is negative or someone or whatever, something bad is going to happen to that someone or whatever the situation is, to turn around and be like, all right, God, Jesus, please help me, or
rebuke it in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But this book helps with that, and acknowledging and recognizing those thoughts, and be able to navigate them and change them, and it's hard. It's a learning process, and it's
an everyday thing.
It's an everyday thing.
It's not like you're gonna have a magic. Listen, does medicine help? Yes, because in my studies, yes, there are signals that can get crossed in the brain, and there's a lack of something to the brain that causes thoughts, right? So yes, that is all facts. There is medication that assists with that to bring the balance back to the brain for those that suffer.
Yeah.
And that is why God made doctors, right? So that they can assist in the healing, right? But at the same time, for the minimal stuff where it's not something that's off with a signal in the brain, and it's just your overwhelming feelings and your thoughts that flicker back and forth, be in control. Captivate those thoughts, learn to control them and say, no, you know what? Not today, Satan. You don't got me. No. Like, this is my day. I'm going to shine. I'm going to rise up. I will not accept the things spoken over me. I will not allow the lies spoken over me as a kid or even now as an adult to have fruit in my life, because I am stronger. I am wiser. I have purpose. I will see my purpose through. I will run this race to get my medal.
Yeah.
That's the vision that you have to set for yourself. Understand that you are here because you have a purpose. There is meaning to your story. And
for
your story,
as small or as big, that you may not even see it.
Yeah.
There's a meaning to your life.
Your story.
There is to your story. And we may not see it. We may not think that we have a purpose. We may not think that, what is my purpose? We may think about this all the time, right? Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm in the same hamster wheel going over and over again, and I don't see the out. But I remember once as a kid, I asked, and my friend said, without suffering, there'll be no compassion. Without it, there'll be no healing. There won't be any growth from it. And it's true. Like, how are you going to appreciate, and same thing she told me, how are you going to appreciate the good if you don't know what's bad?
That's right.
And yeah, it sucks. And yeah, why do we have to go through whatever we're going through? But
it's only a season.
It makes the good that much sweeter.
And it's only for a season. You understand that? Like, it's kind of like when you fall down and you scrape your knee, right? You could scrape it really bad where you're seeing a lot of blood.
Mm-hmm.
But it heals.
Yeah.
Right? And then the scab comes and the scab falls off and it's brand new skin. Right? Essentially, that's kind of how
I'm the one that picks on the scab.
Oh, so you just want the pain to return.
Yeah, it's like,
and you see, and that is you. And that is you, because you relive a lot of stuff in your mind.
But
yeah. Stop picking your skin.
Stop picking the scab, guys.
Let it heal properly, people. Let it heal properly. No, but all kidding aside, that's what we're trying to say is, once it heals, it's fresh, right?
Yeah.
So you want to go through the healing process so you can get to that freshness and the newness and what is planned for your life.
Yeah.
I want to say that right now, right, we highly recommend, if you are struggling, for my veteran people, it is a struggle every day. I know personally, right? I hear sometimes, if it's like in the winter, ice to me sometimes sounds like gunshots. And there's triggers, there's real triggers. So I just want to talk to you guys and gals, right? My brothers and my sisters in the military. If you're struggling, there's a lot of resources. And one of the ones that I like to use is the Wounded Warriors. And you guys, like, please reach out to them, the Wounded Warrior Project. Their email's woundedwarriorproject.org. You can contact them at 997-258 or 904-405-1213. Both of area codes are 904. Listen, help is there. There's crisis lines, Melinda will share that number with you in a second. I just need you guys to understand you're not alone. You're not alone. Whether you think you are, you're not. There's people on the other side of a phone. There's people on the other side of a text message.
It is possible to be filled in a room and feel alone.
Correct.
You're filled in a room with people, yet you feel alone. And if you do feel that way,
they don't feel seen.
They don't feel seen. Try to go through your thoughts. Talk to someone. Find your resources. Yeah. Don't let it continue to bog you down.
Correct.
Don't continue to allow it to take toll over your life and your emotions. There has to be that one person, and if there isn't, let's find that person. So like Maritza said, I do want to share the suicide hotline. That is 800-273-8255. Again, that suicide hotline, that is for also any military veterans, and it's for civilians as well. It is 800-273-8255. Guys, there is resource out there. We have to find them, and whatever we can provide.
Yes.
We either know someone who's going through something, or we are someone who's going through something.
Correct.
And we're here.
Yeah, and in this month that it is mental health awareness, we do ask that you guys check up on people that you haven't spoken to. Sometimes it's that one phone call that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Timing is everything. Yeah. And I do believe heavily that God's timing is key and crucial. So if you feel someone's name that came to mind during this message, that's heaviness in your heart.
Yeah, when someone comes to your mind or a dream and you were thinking about them, reach out to them.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like, hey, I had a funny dream with you, or just thinking about you. Check in those persons. Yeah. If you have that person really heavy in your heart, check on that person, because there's a reason you're thinking about that person.
Many of times I felt that, and I've reached out, and people have said to me, wow, like I needed this phone call. I needed this talk. And you just never know. I mean, guys, if you have coworkers, right, your spouses, even your kids, just talk to them, pray over them, be there for them.
Absolutely. Again, I think we'll share the number.
Yes.
Let's share it one more time for everybody. But just reach out to someone if you need the help, and also be that person for someone. And sometimes they just need somebody to listen to.
Yeah.
They don't need an answer.
No, just be an active listener, guys. Work on that, being an active listener, because listen, everyone's pain is different.
Yeah.
And everyone's reaction is different, and you need to be okay with that.
Yeah, and even if you went through the same thing, it doesn't feel the same. It's different for everybody. They're different people. There's different variables involved, and just be able to listen and be there. And if you guys need help with that, feel free to
reach out.
Feel free to message us as well, and we'll help as much. But let's share the numbers one more time. Sure. Maritza's going to share Wounded Warrior Project.
So the Wounded Warrior is woundedwarriorproject.org. Their phone number is 904-405-1213.
And the suicide hotline is 800-273-8255. Thank you guys again for joining us. And we hope that this helped you and
uplifting.
And uplifted you. Yeah. We are all in this together.
Correct. Make sure to listen, subscribe, and like us on our social media pages.
And comment. Those comments do help, and rate us. And we appreciate you joining us again for another episode.